Alright, YouTube wants an intro video for my page, so here we go. I'll try to make it short, but it probably won't be. My name's Carpo, for those who don't know. I'm just an average guy, trying to make an impact in the world in the best way I can, without being arrogant enough to think that I'm going to. I don't have any intention on becoming a rich person or have any desire for material wealth or monetary gain. I try to be as honest as I can and be as trustworthy as I can with people. I try to be a good person. I try to live by standards and morals, but I don't fool myself into thinking I'm holier than thou. I'm just your average person. I have an ego when I need it, and I let it go when I don't need it. And there's too many people out there with some strong opinions, and everybody seems to be expressing themselves, and wanting to express who they are through videos. And I started doing this a while back, and I thought it was kind of fun making videos and posting thoughts and whatnot. And I started meeting some good people who have similar ideas, similar thoughts. And I try not to dismiss anyone. I try not to put anyone down unless they deserve it. There have been times, I go through these phases just like everyone else does, and I don't put myself in denial about it. I don't sit and say, well, I'm this person or I'm that. I'm not a Christian, but I'm not an atheist. I'm not a Buddhist. I don't have a religion. I'm just a person who believes that we are all God, that we are all part of this whole majestic, wondrous world, and trying to put it into words is really futile, and it doesn't have any purpose to me. Trying to understand why we exist is a really important thing for most people. You get to a certain point where you start to realize that you don't know for a reason. The whole point is to live, to exist, to share, to serve one another. When you live by certain morals, in my opinion, when you live by a certain code of ethics, it becomes your stabilization, your ground, your foothold, and nothing can be taken away from you when it's not material, when it's something that you've created within your own psyche and your own morality. People get too addicted, I think, to the instant gratification of modern society. You go out and you buy a burger, boom, you go out and you buy a book, you go out and you buy a candy bar or a new car or a house or whatever you might buy. The things that you don't need, besides the basic needs, things that make you excited for a moment. You might not even be excited before, you might only be excited for a moment when you're carrying it to the checkout. You might not even be excited after you buy it. You may never even use it. We've all seen the addictions that society has, and this grasp, this hold that materialism has on society. And I think that so that kind of defines my purpose, is to try to express to other people, for one thing, that you are completely in control of your own destiny and your own happiness, and no one can take that away from you once you've built it strong. Two, that you'll be spending the rest of your life searching. So if you expect to find all the answers in a book or in a religion or in a teaching, think again, because nobody can fool themselves into believing anything 100%. And if they can't, I feel for them, because that means they've stopped the search. And that could be the ultimate sin, is giving up on the search. But then again, I'm not arrogant enough to think, that I understand anything, that I really know what life's all about, or that we're even supposed to be searching. All I know is that what's in my heart, and I follow it, and the people I've talked to have similar interests, similar ideas, similar feelings from their own heart that direct their lives. And I'm kind of a jack of all trades. I have a wide variety of things that I've researched in my life. I do many, many different things, and I like it that way. I don't want to be a master of any trade. I don't believe that a person should be tied down to a particular career or a job for their entire life. And I think that way of living is going by the wayside now, because folks want variety. But that's just kind of just a few things to express who I am and what I'm about. My videos will vary on my channel. I'm not doing it to try to prove anything. I'm not trying to make any money off of it. I'm not trying to express my views to prove to anybody that they are true, because I don't draw any conclusions. I kind of let that go a long time ago. And there are times when I feel strongly about situations and I speak up on them. and that's just how it is. One day I might be talking about Buddhism, the next day I might be talking about the New World Order or something like that, or go from chemtrails to talking about bugs, and or all the different things that we're exposed to on the internet are important to me because YouTube especially is a big platform for people to get their information. And what I think has happened is YouTube's become an echo chamber for people to let their thoughts bounce off one another, and if they don't resonate, a lot of these truthers, I'm not talking about all the people, but a lot of the people who are involved in speaking who are obsessed with the news and researching every single chemical attack and every single explosion and potential terrorist threat, and what it's done is it's shifted to the government, and the government has been blamed now for everything. They're trying to kill us with chemtrails, they're trying to build underground bases that go all the way across the country and gas us and send nanobots out, and I think my whole opinion on all that shit is use your head. Some of it's true, most of it's not. Most of it is based on truth, but has been so skewed as to make everybody think that they're constantly being killed off. And I feel very strongly that a person is completely in charge of their own health, and if you believe that you are being killed by anything, then you are manifesting that destiny for yourself. So, with that said, I'm not ignorant enough to think that there aren't attacks being carried out on our population by some ill-intended people in society. But no, I'm not going to believe that I'm being killed on every turn, because I think that's what's killing us off is just a fear. Fear itself. It's causing an irrational behavior in people, in society as a whole. And that irrational behavior is manifesting itself as disease, sickness, pestilence. Every time someone talks about how the end of the world is coming, all they're doing is manifesting more bad to come, and they're creating their own reality. Meanwhile, when a large portion of the population is continuously telling everybody that every time they walk outside they're being poisoned, well, that's dangerous too. So that's another reason why I make these videos, is because I really want to kind of express to people that I don't believe a lot of this stuff is true, and it's not because of ignorance. It's not because I don't do my homework, and that's the problem. A lot of these people think it's because I didn't do my homework, and it's not true. It's because I've done enough homework to know, okay, here's the one side and here's the other side, and it's somewhere in the middle. But anyway, enough about that. That's just my kind of take on why I do this and why I'm here making videos. It's kind of nice to review and know what I was thinking at a particular time, but I do this more for just one person out there who might watch something of mine and it might strike a chord in them as to how to try to live to their fullest and acknowledge who they are, that they're a great person. You're all great people. Every single one of you has something to contribute to the world. Every single one of you is a bright, shining, I call us tentacles of God. We are the feelers. We are out there as little suction cups feeling out the whole world, and we should be living it to its fullest, and not feeling like we are only here to worship some deity, some invisible deity that wants us to be miserable and live lives without enjoying ourselves, because otherwise we might go to this lake of fire. Hell, damnation is only an archetype for here on earth, what we create for ourselves, and so is heaven. Whatever the afterlife is remains to be seen. I've done all my studies on near-death experiences, DMT, and all the different states people go into and out of, and the tunnel and whatnot, and I think it's a phenomenal experience. I've been down that tunnel on DMT, so it's about as close as a near-death that you can get without being near death. I've had my ego die before, and so I've had some really wild experiences, and I understand how people can have mystical experiences that they think are just the bee's knees of life. For example, if a person goes into a church and they've never been to any church before, and they've been miserable all their life, and all of a sudden they have this mystical just revelation, this feeling, and I've had it before in a teepee doing a shamanistic ceremony, and no matter where you're at, you might have the same feeling in any church or any religion, and the person just goes, oh my God, this is it, this is the way, and so he goes, I want to know more, and when he looks into the religion, all the people around him tell him, well, this is the only way, and the rest of them are wrong. That's when things go bad. It's because if the people could have an experience and then say, wow, this is amazing, I'm going to practice religious tolerance and let everyone's mystical experience be equal to mine, then we could have a happy world, because everyone's had mystical experiences that were amazing, but if you try to attribute it to saying, oh, well, you're delusional unless it was through Jesus, well, we've destroyed all chances of communication through those channels. And so I have a very mixed view on religion, but I don't have an opinion on afterlife. I think that our souls carry on to maybe another dimension, and maybe they don't, but I think it's more of an energy transfer, and I'm not going to try to pick it apart and analyze what it is. I don't understand, and I don't think anyone understands exactly how all these things work. So what can we do here? So what's my point with all this crap and this rambling? Well, what are we here to do? I mean, if you listen to this damn video this long, then right on, thanks. But I say that what we're here to do is live life to its fullest, and if we don't, then that is the ultimate sin beyond ignorance. Not teaching ourselves, not paying attention to other people's views just because they conflict with ours. And when a person can learn to open their mind to everything that they hear, I was anti-religion for many years, basically an atheist. I mean, I didn't, and I still really don't have an opinion on religion itself. It was organized religion that really bothered me, though. But now I can accept a Christian on the level of me and not look down on them because they have a different belief. And that's, I think, the key, is to be able to look at each person. And don't try to fool yourself into thinking you'll never judge people. Because that's along the lines of thinking that you're going to be this perfect person someday, that you're aspiring to be this great guru, let's say, and you want to stop eating meat, and you want to start only helping other people, have no material possessions, completely limit yourself to a certain way of living, and then you're grasping on to that lifestyle is something that's holding you back from just being who you are. Just be who you are. And if your heart is right, then your actions will follow. To get your heart right, you have to be educated on what is wrong and what is right in the general consensus of society. So therefore, you educate yourself as much as you can without fooling yourself into thinking, well, this is not true because it doesn't go along with what I believe. Educate yourself as much as you can on every subject, then make rational views based on that. It's not that complicated, really. And I think if we all did that and don't fool ourselves in the back of our minds into taking jobs that are destructive to the environment or careers that are destructive to ourselves or to our fellow people, we're the ones to blame. And as much as we want to blame the governments and the elite and these New World Order and the bankers, ultimately we are to blame because we are the ones purchasing the things that we complain about. We are the ones utilizing and wanting the cheaper things that we desire. And I'm not talking about all of us, because there's a segment of population, which is my whole point, that is like me, who realized one day that I have to change everything. Every little piece of plastic, instead of throwing it in the garbage. Even if it's all moldy, rinse it out, recycle it. You know what I'm talking about? Everyone knows what I mean. Those little things in life that you do. The little tiny things that all add up to something big. Well, that thing's stolen, but somebody's going to take it, so I'll buy it. Or, like I said, I'll just throw out this pop can because it's got some old Coke in it, and I don't really want to deal with carrying it to the recycling bin. Oh, we're camping. I don't want to separate. All the little things that we do. And once we've learned to move past that and master our thinking patterns, everything else just falls into place. And it's a beautiful thing. And we start to realize that now we have the answers. And the answers are, we know fucking nothing. And our lives go on and on and on. And we keep educating ourselves. And we keep moving forward and teaching ourselves as much as we can. And we go through this stage of enlightenment where, oh my goodness, for a month you're floating on air, and then all of a sudden you're back to where you were a year before. Why? Because these are phases. These are cycles. We move in and out of these cycles. It's a beautiful thing. Embracing these cycles is like, it's like riding the waves in the ocean, and the ebb and the ebb and flow, the tides as they come and go, and don't try to grasp onto that the preserver. Just let it go. Just let it go, because we all have to put trust in fate to know that if we do what's right, then generally our lives will be pretty damn good. And that's about all I could say on that. So, namaste to every one of you, and I hope you will join me on future adventures, because there are a lot of them to go through.